To this, the over-reliance and dependencies on individual counterparts, which is most obvious in the case of Russian oil and gas supplies, but it also applies to several other fields, from future critical raw materials and semiconductors to defense. There is some hope that Europe could once more succeed in using a crisis as the basis for tackling crucial reforms, following what Jean Monnet wrote in his memoirs in 1976. Europe will be forged in crisis and will be the sum of the solutions adopted. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing could be further away from my mind than to contradict this great European thought leader. But I'm convinced that today, almost 5 decades after Monnet made his statement, we do need a different approach to prove the stereotypes about Europe wrong. We need to shift focus from saving Europe to building Europe. We have been talking about the concept of strategic autonomy for several years. Now it's time to take it really serious. And that means that we Europeans must stop reacting and start developing strategic plans on how to make Europe fit for the future. It's nothing else that we need an Agenda 2030 for Europe. And the very first step must be that we finally create a real European home market. Wherever I go and whoever I talk to from non-European countries, actually almost nobody understands why we don't finally go for it. A common market with 450 million people and consumers, not split in 27 different jurisdictions. By the way, this also means that we have to rework things like European antitrust law. And given the world we find ourselves in, a European agenda cannot ignore the issue of the second point, and this is defense. The illusion of everlasting peace has been abruptly shattered this year, and at the same time it is obvious the US is no longer prepared to bear the burden for European security to the same extent as in the past. The consequence is that Europe needs to take its own defense more seriously, and in recent months EU countries have rightly already taken some steps to strengthen their capabilities in this field. But much more needs to be done, and pan-European thinking is, in my view, required. No less urgent is that we put our energy supply in Europe on an independent footing. This involves new supply contracts and a broader diversification of suppliers, a determined European-wide expansion of renewable energies. And let's not only envision 100% energy supply. What we really need to do is we must focus on sourcing even more energy than needed, as only then, over time, prices will become again competitive. At the same time, Europe must raise its profile in sectors that will play a key role in the future. And sustainability is the prime example here. We really do have a competitive edge in this area. And it's such a great opportunity to set the pace globally in one of the most important fields of the future. Other nations and continents admire us for this lead in technology and expertise. And that's why we must work at all levels to defend it, technologically, in terms of financing, but also when it comes to political support and regulation. And next to sustainability, we must also focus on technology more broadly. Other key future fields with potential include innovative mobility solutions, fifth-generation mobile networks, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing. Market shares are not yet completely distributed, and Europe would do well to join forces. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this needs investment, though, which leads to an area which is far too often overlooked, and hence I'm so happy to host the conference today. And this is that we need to talk about European strategic autonomy and financial autonomy. It is concerning that this key cornerstone is simply left out of the debate, just as if the financing of the upcoming transformation were a side issue. But for this transformation, the financing piece is nothing else than the heart and the lungs.